Mindwalker, pilot, anchored, by Thorsten Loos. Teaser. We hear a babel of voices, engine sounds and car horns complete with the background noise of a crowded metropolitan area. Welcome to exterior, New York City, night. From Times Square, we cut to the Empire State Building, to the Statue of Liberty, to the Brooklyn Bridge, and float right through the window of a interior, small apartment, same, where we find about 25-year-old Andrew Kinderman lying on an old, time-worn sofa in a dark room. He ran out of razor blades 3 days ago, and his shower stayed dry today. His eyes are glued to a TV screen like those of a tiger ready to jump at a gazelle. In his case, the prey is gorgeous Anna Chastings, starring in his favorite show. Anna plays a government suit behind the steering wheel of a black Lincoln. She nervously observes a house on the other side of the street. An upper-class limousine stops. Anna startles the driver from behind as he leaves the vehicle. As she speaks, Andrew recites every word.
Surprised to see me?
Agent Rogers?
Sorry to disappoint you, but the guy you sent to kill me ended up in a cell. And he's been very talkative, I should add.
A phone rings and interrupts Andrew's audition. He bestirs himself, treads on an empty plastic bottle to his way to the corded phone at the other side of the room. Interior, laboratory, same. Leroy Mitchell, a guy in Andrew's age, impatiently listens to the ringing tone of his cell phone as he walks up and down the room all dressed up and with nowhere to go. We intercut with Andrew on the other end of the line.
Where on earth are you?
Andrew jolts up and turns to a small alarm clock on a nearby table. Totally forgot the time.
Fuck, Leroy, the samples.
You're half an hour late, man.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Give me 20 minutes, I'm on my way.
Leroy hears the TV in the background. Can't believe it.
Dude, are you watching that crap again?
Like a criminal caught in the act, Andrew steps out of the room and away from the treacherous boob tube.
Seriously, I think you need help.
Exterior, university, night. Andrew halts his rusty, last-century sorry excuse for a car in the parking area in front of the campus building. He runs into a sprightly old man in the main entrance. The man's bag is knocked off his hands and springs open as it hits the ground. Documents are spread all over the floor.
Professor Marshall? Look, I'm sorry, sir.
Don't you have eyes in your head?
Determined to avoid his beheading, Andrew kneels down and collects the paperwork. The professor joins him.
Aren't you in my neurobiology course, Mr.
Kinderman. Andrew Kinderman.
Kinderman, right. What are you doing here this late?
I'm meeting a fellow student to finish those tissue samples.
The ones for the presentation tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Better late than never, right?
Andrew smiles sheepishly.
Yes, sir.
Andrew hands him a bundle of documents.
Thanks.
He checks his watch.
I need to hurry now. My wife's waiting for the dinner.
Have a nice evening, sir. Sorry again.
Don't worry, just take care next time.
Will do.
Interior, university, same. The deserted building seems eerie at night. Only the echoes of his footsteps follow Andrew on his way to the lab, ready for the next crucifixion. In the lab, Andrew enters. Leroy looks up from a microscope.
20 minutes, huh?
Yeah, sorry again. I got stuck in traffic.
Andrew tosses his backpack into a corner. He walks straight to a shelf, grabs a sample, tries hard to avoid returning Leroy's look.
You just walk in here, hours late, and that's all you have to say?
Before he can answer, we hear multiple gunshots outside the building. Andrew's eyes widen.
Professor Marshall?
He storms back into the hallway. At the main entrance, Andrew runs to the front door and tears it open. Leroy has his head puffed out to the lab door behind him. Exterior, university, same. The professor is down on the ground, bathed in blood from a gaping wound in his chest. Two men, black clothes, black ski masks, ransack his bag. In a reflex, Andrew pulls the door back, leaves it just a slit open, enough to peek through.
You found it?
The other guy skims through the documents and groans.
Can't see shit with this thing.
He raises his mask and keeps browsing. The other guy is antsy. He scans the area warily. His eyes pass by the entrance door. Andrew shies back.
What the fuck? Keep your mask on. They'll have cameras here.
Finally, some document worth killing for.
The hell with the cameras. This is what we're looking for.
Let's get the hell out of here then.
Interior, university, same. In the moment they stand up, Andrew is startled as Leroy hits the light switch in the hallway behind him.
What's going on?
Exterior, university, same. The men stiffen as the light cone engulfs them. They see Andrew's silhouette behind the door and eye each other. Interior, university, same.
Turn the damn lights off. Quick!
Leroy winces and quickly complies, but too late. With a clear goal not to leave any marks, the two men head straight for the building. Andrew realizes it. He hits the panic button and runs.
Hide!
Leroy picks up his panic runs back into the lab and slams the door. Andrew storms into the stairway. He runs upstairs, stumbles and hits the ground. The two men chase him. They're about 2 levels behind. Driven by his fear of death, Andrew jumps up and runs on. He tries several doors as he passes by. No luck. All sealed. At the end of the stairway, he tries the door to the roof, where he anxiously scans for places to hide. He sprints to the edge, runs out of time. Footsteps come closer. He spots a truck near the building, but it's too high for a jump, and too late anyway, as the door to the roof is kicked open and 2 men step out. Andrew looks right into the face of the unmasked guy and points his gun at him. Bam! A bullet perforates Andrew's chest. He tumbles backwards off the roof. The attackers step closer to the edge and look down. They find Andrew on top of the truck in a puddle of blood. Police sirens in the distance. The men eye each other and decide to make a run for it. Cut 2, title sequence. End of teaser. Act 1, fade in. Exterior, Brisbane River, Australia, day. A wonderful sunny day. A small yacht passes by over the scenic Story Bridge. Super, Brisbane, Australia. Interior, villa, same. Luxurious furnishings, antiquities, expensive-looking oil paintings with ornamented frames across the walls. The composition shows an expensive taste and an eye for arts. Anna sits on an armchair and reads a book. Her cell phone rings. She picks it up, checks the display, and frowns.
Hey, Henry, let me guess. You got my email?
She grimaces and holds the phone away from her ear, just enough so we can hear a barking male voice throwing all sorts of incomprehensible curses at her.
Come on, Henry. I know you don't mean it that way. No, listen. I know what you've done for me and my career, and I'll always be grateful for that chance you gave me, but I really feel it's time for me to move on. I never wanted to be the subject of all these wet nerd dreams. I'd like to play character roles and grow as an artist. Yeah, no, Henry.
She shuts her eyes, surrenders to the rant.
Okay, listen, let's talk about this again next week. Yeah, I'll fly tomorrow afternoon. Right, just try to calm down until Monday, and we can discuss this in a civilized way when I'm there, okay? Okay, I'll see you. Bye.
She shakes her head with a smile and gets back to her book. In this moment, the half-transparent silhouette of a human body begins to materialize right in front of her. Anna hardly believes her eyes. She stares at the blurred shape as it slowly solidifies into Andrew's body. With a painful cry, Andrew yanks a hand up to the place where the bullet hit him and slumps down to his knees. Anna screams and jumps up from the armchair. She bolts out of the room like a scalded cat. Lobby. Anna sprints through the corridor and stops at a door sealed by a numeric keypad. With a shivering hand, she enters the code. The door unlocks itself with a click. Panic room. She seals the metal door from inside and slides the shutter of the small eyelet open. Nothing to see in the lobby. Exterior, villa, minutes later. A silver breezer stops in front of Anna's villa. Ethan Jackson, early 30s, suited business guy, gets out of the car with a bottle of wine under his arm. He strolls up the pathway to the front door with purpose, smiles with an overbearing self-confidence. Interior, villa, panic room, same. Anna is startled as the doorbell rings. Her face is snow white and covered with cold sweat. She hectically peeks through the lobby again. The coast is clear. Lobby. She silently exits the panic room and hurries to the front door. She looks straight at Ethan's smiling face as he lifts the wine in the air.
Hey, darling, ready for a nice evening?
Still under shock, she eyes him without a word.
Anna, are you okay? Why don't you let me in?
Ethan, thank God you're here. There's someone in the house.
She grabs his arm and pulls him inside.
What? Where?
In the living room.
Okay, you wait here.
Readied up for a fight, he enters the living room. Anna stays behind, more than just worried. After moments of silence, which seem like an eternity, Ethan returns, visibly confused.
Okay, is this some kind of a joke?
What?
There isn't anyone.
Anna frowns. She coils past him into the living room. She scans the room. Nobody here. Ethan steps behind her.
I swear he was here. He materialized right in front of my eyes.
He materialized.
Ethan smiles and hugs her from behind.
Yeah, right, you almost got me.
Ethan takes a corkscrew from a shelf and makes himself comfortable on the sofa.
Why don't you lay down here? You know I've got magic hands. I could give you a nice massage.
Anna seems puzzled. Was it just a figment of her imagination? Hallucination?
Sounds good, but let me go to the bathroom first.
She leaves the room. Ethan begins to open the bottle of wine. Andrew carefully sticks his head out behind a long drapery. His pain has declined, but it still hurts. He anxiously eyes Ethan. Still confused by the situation, he decides it's time to get to the bottom of this. He stands up and emerges behind the drapery. He resolutely approaches Ethan.
Sir, I'm sorry. I don't know how I ended up here. Can you help me? What is this place and who are you?
To Andrew's surprise, Ethan doesn't take any notice of him. He swings the corkscrew into the bottle and looks right through him. Ethan's cell phone rings. He sets the bottle aside and picks up his cell.
Yes?
Ethan's eyes widen. He throws a rattled look at the door to the lobby.
Melissa, I can't talk right now. Anna can come in any moment. Listen, she'll fly back to LA on Sunday. I'll have all the time in the world for you then. I know, honey, but I told you 1,000 times why I can't leave her just yet, okay? Please don't start this now. I've got to hang up. Call you back, honey. I love you. Bye.
Andrew frowns, seems totally lost. Ethan ends the call and lets the phone slip back into his pocket, just in time before Anna enters the room from behind him. She eyes Andrew with big eyes. The shock instantly returns to her face as their eyes meet.
Ethan, who is that?
Ethan turns around and eyes her with a raised brow.
Anna, what are you talking about?
What?
Ethan frowns.
You sure you're okay? Should I call Doc Prescott? Maybe it's better if he comes over and has a look at you.
Stop it, Ethan. This isn't funny anymore. Who is that guy?
Ethan turns to Andrew, stares right through him, turns back to Anna.
Okay, you got me. You're rehearsing a role or something.
Anna's terrified and puzzled at the same time. Andrew can't make sense of the situation either.
Anna? Anna Chastings?
Yes, and who on earth are you?
Ethan gets up from the sofa and steps next to Anna.
Okay, honey, you're scaring me now.
Is this one of your freaked out attempts to be funny?
Okay, Anna, stop it now, please.
You want to tell me you don't see him?
Ethan turns around, scans through the room.
Him?
He touches Anna's shoulders and tries to hug her, but she shoves him away.
Don't. Take your friend and leave. I'm already stressed enough. I've got no time for such stupid pranks.
Ethan strikes a bugged pose. He's offended in his pride. Aggrieved, perhaps.
You want me to leave? Fine. I've got no idea what's wrong with you, but I've got no time for your silly games.
Anna eyes him dumbstruck. It's a joke, isn't it? Ethan grabs his jacket from the sofa's backrest and stomps out to the lobby. Andrew observes the scene frantically. Lobby. With a pinched face, Ethan rushes to the front door.
Ethan, wait.
He raises one hand in an appeasing manner and opens the door.
Never mind, just call me when you're sane again, okay?
Anna catches up to him and hugs him from behind.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm tired and overworked. I guess I'll just need a rest, okay?
Ethan turns around and sets up an artificial smile.
Okay.
She kisses him before he leaves and shuts the door behind him. She leads her back to the door and stares towards the living room with a terrified expression. Exterior, Villa saying. Halfway to his car, Ethan takes out his phone and dials.
Melissa, it's me again. I've changed my mind. Can I come over? Okay, baby. See you soon.
The complacent smile returns to his face as he gets back into his car and drives off. Exterior, hospital night. An ambulance stops in front of the hospital. Sirens are turned off. Paramedics pull a gurney out of the car and rush it inside the building. On the gurney lies Andrew, unconscious. Interior, hospital, sane. On the way inside, one of the medics rhythmically compresses a manual respirator to control Andrew's respiration. Andrew is connected to a heart rate monitor on the lower tray of the gurney, which sounds low rhythmic beeps. A doctor from the hospital approaches them.
Patient is male, approximately between 20 and 25 years old. Gunshot injury right above the heart. Respiration is unstable, hemodynamically unstable, pulse is at 45 beats per minute. Blood pressure is very low at 70 and 45. He's in GCS 3 with no cognitive reaction. Hypovolemia is indicated due to severe blood loss.
Thank you.
The emergency dog nods and returns back to the ambulance.
Alright guys, first of all I need a CT scan. Inform the operating room so they're prepared.
The medics roll the gurney into an examination room. When the heart rate monitor suddenly sounds a constant beep, Andrew's heart just quit its service.
We've got a flatline. Defibrillator. Fast.
Paramedics grab an underpacking on the gurney.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
They lift Andrew's lifeless body on an examination table. A nurse hands the doctor the defibrillator. He bends over Andrew and charges it.
Step back.
Interior, villa, living room, evening. Anna slowly approaches Andrew in the living room. One careful step after another, ready to run if necessary. Andrew still hunches with pain and holds his upper chest.
Okay, now talk. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Andrew groans from his pain. He's annoyed by her question.
My name is Andrew. Andrew Kinderman, and I've got no clue what I'm doing here.
Kinderman. Doesn't ring a bell. What's wrong with you?
I've been shot.
Anna's eyes widen.
Shit. Let me have a look.
She steps closer and tries to touch him, but, much to her surprise, her hands move right through his body.
What the hell? What are you?
Before Andrew can answer, a buzz fills the room. His body jerks around, he slips out of control. Andrew sounds out a terrible scream of pain. Anna is horrified as she watches him collapse to the floor, flinching around in uncontrolled spasms. Interior, hospital examination room, night.
Charge again!
Another charging sound, followed by another buzz. Andrew's body jolts up as electricity floods through it. Interior villa living room, evening. Anna helplessly observes Andrew's horrific struggle, pure horror in her eyes. With another buzz, Andrew's silhouette becomes blurred as he slowly turns half-transparent. With a last elongated cry of pain, he finally disappears completely. Interior hospital shock room, night. Heart rate monitor is back to a rhythmic beeping. The doctor is exhausted and breathes heavily.
We got him.
Cut to black. End of Act 1. Act 2, fade in. Interior hospital intensive care unit, night. Andrew lies on a bed, attached to a heart-lung machine, kept on life support. 4 people in blue isolation coats enter the room. His doctor, senior FBI agent William Curtis, as well as his parents, Leslie and Norman Kinderman. Leslie finds Andrew on the bed and is immediately agitated by the view. She bursts into tears. Norman lays an arm around her. William respectfully drops his head. His years of FBI work have left a mark on him. A typical tough cookie.
How bad is it, Doctor?
The operation went well. He's out of immediate danger of life for now, but his injuries, both from the shot and from the fall from the roof, are very severe.
What does that mean?
We can't say for sure. We'll have to wait and see what the next 24 hours will bring. However, given the injuries and the results from the CT, we can't rule out permanent, life-changing impairment.
Now Norman can't control himself any longer and breaks out into tears as well. He kisses Leslie on the forehead while tears run down his cheek.
Sir, I'm sure you will make every effort possible to find the people responsible for this.
William puts a hand on Norman's shoulder and leads Leslie and Norman out of the room again. Hallway. A police officer approaches them in front of Andrew's room.
Are you Agent Curtis?
Yes, you here for the first shift?
Yes, sir. Your FBI colleague sent me down here.
Another man, FBI agent Thomas Yankovic, 27, turns around the corner and enters the hallway. A slick guy with a side parting. His suit fits perfectly to his shining patent leather shoes.
Ah, great. They found you, sir.
Excuse me, first shift?
Well, Mr. Kinderman, as it seems, your son's the only witness of Professor Marshall's murder. We just don't want to take a risk and leave him here without protection.
You mean they might try to get Andrew out of the way?
I'm sorry to say, but it's possible, yes. Are we done here for now?
Yes, the hospital will keep us updated if there's anything new.
Okay. Mrs. Kinderman and Mr. Kinderman, please follow me. We'll drive you home. There's nothing more we can do here for now, and you should get some rest.
Interior surgery morning. Anna wears a patient gown and sits on a daybed. Her eyes anxiously follow Dr. Prescott, who skims over several computed tomography pictures attached to a negatoscope. An assistant walks in and hands a printout to the doctor.
Here are the results of Miss Chastening's blood test.
Great. Thank you.
She humbly nods and leaves the room again. The doctor files over the pages of the printout.
Well, Miss Chastings, as far as I can say, these results look normal. Maybe these hallucinations you mentioned are stress-induced. You should probably take a rest and relax a bit.
I wish I could. I'll have to fly back to LA today. The shooting for the next season starts.
I can only advise you to follow yourself some rest. From the physical point of view, there's nothing you should worry about. Anyway, I'll prescribe you a light sedative. Take one of those pills before you go to sleep.
Anna smiles and nods thankfully.
Come to the counter when you change back. I'll prepare the prescription in the meantime.
The doc leaves the room and Anna enters the changing cubicle. Interior hospital intensive care unit, evening. Andrew jolts up from his bed with wide open eyes. He's confused and scans the room. As he tries to stand up, he's struck by terrible pain. He groans and topples down to his knees. He struggles to get up, stumbles to the door, but when he tries to use the door handle, his hand just moves right through it. He checks his hand in disbelief, slowly turns around to the bed, where he finds his own body attached to the life support machines. He can't believe what he's seeing. Interior FBI building, evening. William sits at his desk, watches a video from the surveillance camera on the campus. It shows the killers, but only from behind as they run from the scene. Someone knocks at the door. Come in. It's Thomas and his partner, Agent Samantha Boyd. She's as old as Thomas, but he looks like a schoolboy next to her. They sit down in 2 chairs in front of William's desk. Sam hands William a file. He opens it and browses.
What do we have here?
Possible motive, sir. Looks like the military was interested in our professor's research.
And how's that a motive?
Well, if the military cares about it, someone else might as well.
Sounds a bit thin.
Granted, however, the professor's latest project is classified. We couldn't get our hands on it.
Now she's got William's attention.
Classified? The agency?
We're not sure, sir. I contacted the CIA and the NSA. Both claim they have no idea. Also asked a liaison officer at the Department of Defense, but nothing yet.
William frowns.
However, seems like our prof is involved in some hot stuff there.
Sounds like a dead-end road to me.
Samantha is surprised.
Sir?
He turns his monitor around and points to the screen.
I think you should focus on our killers here for now. Check out if there's any other witnesses. Try to get a hand on them. I'll look after this in the meantime and see if I can dig a bit deeper.
Thomas and Samantha eye each other, confused.
But sir, how are we supposed to find these people if we don't know what they're aiming at?
Well, that's your job, Agent Boyd. Be creative. Use your instincts.
Samantha glances at Thomas. He shrugs.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Fine. Keep me updated.
Sam and Thomas stand and walk back to the door.
Oh, by the way, what was the name of that liaison officer you mentioned?
Lieutenant Commander J.R. Wolf.
William notes the name on a scratch pad and nods. That's all. Sam and Thomas leave. Interior, hospital, evening. Andrew's pain is almost unbearable. He staggers through an empty hallway, supporting himself against the walls.
Hello? Anyone here? Look, I need help.
He takes a few more steps, loses his grip, and collapses to the floor. He's done, totally exhausted. A nurse passes by. He sees her, braces himself up against the pain, reaches out a hand towards her.
Please, help me.
She doesn't react. She comes closer and closer and walks right through him. Andrew recoils for a moment, realizes he's fucked up, void of any hope. He crumples back and starts to cry. After a few seemingly endless moments of agony, a young female voice startles him from behind.
Are you new here?
He yanks his body around. His eyes find an about 16-year-old girl with hair bows in her braids. She wears an old-fashioned Victorian dress and carries a doll under her arm. Something is wrong with this girl.
Me? You mean me?
The girl nods and eyes him curiously.
Oh, thank God you can see me. Can you help me? This pain is unbearable and I can't stand it much longer.
Pain. You feel pain?
Andrew nods. The girl's eyes widen. She steps closer.
Describe it. What is it like?
What? Please, look, I don't know what's going wrong with me. My hands, they glide through things, and this pain, it's driving me crazy.
A sad expression flashes over her face.
I wish I could feel it. I've never felt anything since.
She shies away before she can complete the sentence.
Since what?
The girl suddenly seems uncomfortable, a bit scared even. She turns around and looks at the dark end of the corridor.
I need to go now.
Andrew startles her by grabbing her arm.
No, please. Look, it seems like no one else can help me. You're my only hope.
Please, mister. I'll be in big trouble if I stay here. Please let me go.
Andrew groans. Holding her consumes his last whit of energy.
What's your name?
The girl throws another scared look down at the dark end of the hallway behind her.
Chloe. My name is Chloe.
Chloe. That's a nice name. My name is Andrew, and I really need your help.
She eyes him pitifully.
I knew you were new here. I've never seen you before.
New here? Does that mean I'm dead?
Chloe shakes her head.
If you were dead, you wouldn't feel pain. You've got to be a Mindwalker. I see them here often.
Mindwalker? Well, what does that even mean?
Do you know how you ended up here?
I'm not sure. I remember these guys were shooting me, and then I was somewhere else, a luxury villa or something, but now I'm here.
I see. So you didn't separate from your body voluntarily?
Separated from my body?
Yes, you will have to find a way back if you want to survive.
But how? How can I get back to my body? Look, please tell me.
I wish I could. The reason I'm here is I didn't find a way in time.
Her words hit him like a thunderbolt.
You mean you are dead?
Chloe turns back to the dark hallway again. She tries to break loose from Andrew's grip.
Please, I've said too much already. We're not allowed to talk to the living. They will punish me if they find me.
They? Who are they?
It doesn't matter. Please let me go, mister.
Please, Chloe. I'm completely lost. You need to tell me more. What is this pain? Is there any way to get rid of it?
There is a way.
Chloe finally manages to break free and runs back towards the dark hallway. A confused sound of many voices fades in and slowly gains intensity. Chloe stops abruptly.
Oh no, they found me.
Which way? Please, I need to know.
A slipstream emerges from the darkness as the voices come closer. Chloe's hair is fluttering in the wind. She turns back to Andrew. Her face shows she just surrendered to the inevitable punishment.
If you want to stop the pain, you need to find your anchor, a place or a person you feel attached to. Do what you would do to wake up from a bad dream, and your mind will return to it.
The wind has almost grown into a tornado now, and the voices are deafeningly loud. Andrew covers his face with an arm and turns his upper body against the wall. Chloe stands dead still. The darkness comes closer and slowly engulfs her body. In the blink of an eye, the voices lapse into silence. The wind is gone. Andrew carefully opens his eyes and stares at the hallway. Chloe is gone as well. Cut to black. End of Act 2. Act 3, fade in. Interior, FBI building, evening. William browses through a dossier about Professor Marshall and his computer. Photos, newspaper headlines, publications fly over the screen. His phone rings.
Yes?
He listens as the other side speaks. He turns away from his monitor, his eyes widen.
Another witness? Are you sure? Can he identify our suspects?
Worry lines shape his forehead.
That's great news, Agent Yankovic. Hold on.
He takes his scratch pad and writes down a name, Leroy Mitchell, followed by his address.
Okay, I'll get on my way. Meet you there.
He hangs up and leans back on his chair, stunned. He opens a drawer on his desk, takes out a family photo of himself, his wife, and his son, stares at it in bewilderment. Interior, hospital, evening. Andrew aimlessly slogs along the walls of the hospital's empty corridors, his face contorted with pain.
Wake up from a bad dream.
Struck by a brainwave, he stops. He shuts his eyes and pinches his arm. After a moment, he opens his eyes and checks the area.
Damn it.
He staggers further down the corridor, passes by a door to a dark hospital room. 2 patients sleep in their beds. Andrew's eyes scan the room and get stuck on an open window. Another brainwave hits him. Exterior, hospital facade, evening. Andrew climbs up on the windowsill and steps outside. His patient gown flutters in the wind. He holds fast onto the window frame, anxiously looks down to the parking lot 5 floors below him. No way he's going to jump. Chickens out and steps back in the inside sill. Another outburst of pain strikes his body. Andrew grimaces, realizes the hopelessness of his situation. He holds for a moment, looks down again, takes a deep breath before he steps out again. He shuts his eyes, leaves hold of the window frame. Andrew screams on his way down to the ground. Just before he hits, we cut to interior, Anna's car, day. Anna drives through the city. With half an eye, she skims over a package leaflet taken from a box of meds on the passenger seat. Andrew starts to materialize next to her. Anna realizes it and screams. She yanks around the steering wheel, almost veers it off the street, gets the car back under control, and halts it at the roadside. She stares at Andrew, who is busy checking that he's still in one piece.
Oh no, not again.
You?
Anna shuts her eyes tight.
Come on, Anna, you heard the doc. It's all stress-induced.
You are... Oh boy.
Anna plugs her fingers into her ears.
La la la, I can't hear you.
Andrew watches her with an infidel grimace.
You're just a figment of my imagination.
She opens one eye to check if he's gone. Damn it. With her eyes shut again, she reaches out for the box of pills next to Andrew's leg. She fiddles around with a tablet coat. Dry swallows 2 pills, drops the rest on the floor. She puts her hands on her temples to limit her view to the front and nods back and forth, buzzing a monotonous na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Andrew leans over and turns his head in front of her face. She reacts with a hysterical squeak and moves away from him.
Oh, great.
He leans back in his seat and checks the area outside. Anna breaks up her defiance. She carefully turns to Andrew until their eyes meet.
1, 2, 3.
She stretches her hands out like a wizard who just cast a spell. Andrew rolls his eyes.
Really?
She's embarrassed by the imbecility of her attempt and hides her hands.
I'll just ignore you. Sooner or later, you'll disappear anyway.
With confidence in the pills she swallowed, she starts the car again and drives on. Andrew launches to say something, but backs down. Realizes he needs to choose his words wisely. A smile crosses his face. He shakes his head in disbelief.
Anna Chastings is my anchor. How cool is that?
A glimpse of curiosity befalls Anna.
I'm your what?
Oh, you're my anchor. A ghost in the hospital told me.
Anna eyes him with an inadvertently funny, odd expression.
This is worse than I thought. Not just myself. No, even my hallucinations are crazy.
I'm not sure I understood what I am, but I'm certainly not a hallucination.
Oh, right. Let me guess. You're a ghost as well, right?
I'm not a damn... Ah!
He tilts his head back, face palms, tries to compose himself. A moment of ingenuity draws him out of his agitation.
Okay, listen. You think I'm not a real spawn of your brain, right? Okay, so if you think about it, I couldn't know anything you don't know as well, correct?
Anna thinks about it for a moment.
I think so, yes.
Okay, so how about this? When I was in your house and that guy was in your living room waiting for you, he got a call from a Melissa. He told her he can't speak because you could enter the room at any moment. But generally, their conversation didn't sound like they were brother and sister, if you know what I mean.
Anna stares at Andrew with wide open eyes.
Melissa?
Andrew nods.
That's his assistant. Why'd she call him at that time?
You want to make a guess?
A mix of anger and wounded feelings shows in her expression.
No way. I don't believe you. That's gotta be my own jealousy speaking through you. Ethan would never do that to me.
Andrew realizes he's crossed a line. He turns to Anna and talks in a caring voice.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you that. I didn't know you were that close to him. I really didn't mean to hurt you.
Anna slams on the brakes and turns the car.
What are you doing?
Let's see if you speak the truth.
Exterior, rundown apartment block, evening. William stops his car at the roadside. Thomas and Samantha get out of a second car and approach him as he gets out.
Here it is, apartment 137.
They pace to the entrance, uneasily checking the shabby surroundings. This isn't exactly a prosperous district.
How do you find him?
He called 911 at the campus. The NYPD was able to trace his number.
Thomas finds Leroy's name at the doorbells and pushes the buzzer. After a moment, the intercom is activated.
Hello?
Leroy Mitchell?
Yes?
This is Agent Yankovic, FBI. We've got a few questions regarding the incident you reported yesterday.
Moment of silence.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes? Okay, come on.
The door opener is heard. Interior, rundown apartment block, minutes later. The agents arrive at the first floor. Thomas knocks at Leroy's apartment door. The door opens, just a slit wide, locked by a door chain. Leroy peeks out and eyes them.
Can I see a badge?
They show him their badges. Leroy eyes them in detail, one after the other.
Okay.
He shuts the door, unlocks the chain, and opens it again.
Please come in.
Leroy's apartment. Leroy's place is small but considerably tidy. It's sparsely furnished, just a pull-out bed, a small wooden table, and a time-worn bookshelf fill the small living room.
Sorry, I can't offer you a seat. I usually don't have visitors here.
No problem.
Can I offer you something? Water? Milk? A Coke?
No thanks.
You called the police yesterday after the shooting at the campus, right?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell them your name?
I don't know, I was scared as hell and just wanted to get out of there. I didn't want to put myself into trouble. You know, a black guy at a murder scene, usually not a good combination.
I see. Well, Mr. Mitchell, can you tell us what exactly you saw?
I was arguing with Andrew because he was late, as always. We wanted to analyze those tissue samples for the practicum.
Flashback to interior laboratory last night. We see Leroy and Andrew at the lab again, when gunshots are heard outside and Andrew storms out.
Then we heard those shots in front of the building. Andrew stormed out to check what was going on.
Holloway saying. We jump to the moment where Leroy turns on the lights in the hallway.
Turn the damn lights off, quick!
Leroy realizes Andrew's panic and quickly turns the lights off again. After a few moments,
Hide!
Leroy watches him run to the stairway, anticipates the situation, and hides in the lab.
I called the cops and stayed in the lab, hoping they wouldn't find me.
Leroy dials on his cell phone.
We need help at the Will Cornell Medical College. There's 2 guys, they've got guns. Seems like they attacked our professor. Please hurry. Then I heard another shot. I knew right away what happened.
Back to present. Interior, Leroy's apartment, evening.
So, what did you do?
I just wanted to get out of there. I knew if they'd find me, that would be my end.
Flashback to interior laboratory last night. Leroy quietly opens the lab door, sneaks down the hallway.
Halfway to the main entrance, I heard steps from the stairway.
He realizes the steps and runs back to the lab, slips through the door and peeks out to the dark hallway. The 2 men arrive at the main entrance. Leroy watches them.
Damn it, that wasn't planned. You should have kept your mask on.
Cry later, we gotta get out of here, or you want to wait for the cops.
They storm out through the main entrance. Back to present. Interior, Leroy's apartment, evening.
So, did you see their faces?
Leroy nods.
Yeah, one of them. The other one was still under his ski mask. Just saw him for a second or two.
You think you'd recognize him?
I'm not sure. It was dark and it all happened so fast.
We understand, but it's important. You need to try to remember. Would you be willing to work with a sketch artist? Maybe we could get a facial composite.
I don't know. I really don't want any trouble. And I certainly don't want to put myself in the crossfire.
Don't worry, we'll ensure your safety. After all, these guys killed your professor. Your friend is in a coma. That can't leave you cold, right?
Leroy thinks for a moment. He's uncomfortable, but eventually gives in.
Okay, I guess I could try.
Great. We'll pick you up tomorrow morning if it's okay for you.
Yeah, I guess.
Samantha hands him a calling card.
Here's my number. If you can think of anything else, you can call me anytime.
Thanks.
I'll have a patrol guard the house overnight, just to make sure.
Is that really necessary?
It's for your own safety. We shouldn't take any risks.
Okay,
Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock?
sure.
Good.
They shake hands and the agents leave. Exterior, rundown apartment block minutes later. They walk back to their cars.
I'll call you as soon as we've got a picture, sir.
Alright, good job, guys.
Thomas and Samantha nod goodbye and disappear in their car. William moves to his car, opens the driver door. He waves as Thomas and Samantha drive away. Once they're out of sight, he shuts the driver door again. His eyes move back to the apartment block. His expression turns very serious. Cut to black. End of Act 3. Act 4, fade in. Exterior, street in front of a bungalow, day. Anna halts the car in front of a bungalow, right behind Ethan's sports car. Interior, Anna's car, same. Anna stares at the small cottage as if she's trying to burn it to the ground with her eyes.
Anna, you think it's a good idea?
Anna gestures stop it with a hand and storms out. Exterior, street in front of a bungalow, same. Anna furiously makes her way to the front door of the small house. Almost smashes the doorbell in rage. After quite a while, the giggles of two people are heard before the door opens up. In front of Anna stands Melissa, a hot redhead in her late 20s, wearing only a male shirt, and Ethan in his boxers, hugging her from behind. As Ethan realizes it's Anna, his face turns to stone. Impulsively, he pulls his arms off Melissa and issues an awkward harumph.
Anna, what are you doing here?
No, that's funny. I just wanted to ask you the same.
Well, Anna, it's not as it seems. You know, I got that call yesterday, a case we were working on. Melissa had the files here at her place, so we met here to work on it. Got late, and she offered me her couch for the night.
Yeah, and on the way to the door, you lost your balance and stumbled with one hand on her tits with the other on her ass, right?
Anna, really,
Shut the hell up. I don't ever want to see you again. Don't dare to ever set another foot on my property or I'll haul you before the courts for home invasion. Was that clear?
She tears off a ring, throws it before Ethan's feet, and dashes back to her car. Ethan chases up on her.
Anna, wait! Don't jump to conclusions. Let me explain.
Anna stops, stomps back to him, and slaps him in the face. Ethan gawks at her dumbfounded and looks on after her. She disappears in the car and drives off. Interior, Anna's car, moments later. Anna and Andrew remain resolutely silent for a while. A tear runs down Anna's cheek. Andrew sees it, struggles to fight for the right words.
I'm really sorry about that. It's all my fault. If I didn't try to prove my point, this wouldn't have happened.
No, it's not. I'm actually glad you told me. Who knows how much longer you would have jerked me around if you hadn't. Seems like I'm just too stupid to realize when someone just takes advantage of me.
But I didn't want to destroy your relationship. Trust me, it wasn't...
Relationship? That asshole was just after my money. That's not a relationship. I mean, when I met him, he was such a battler.
A what?
A battler, you know? He was working like crazy for his dick of a boss. That guy kept him in the office for 16 hours a day and didn't even pay him regularly.
What does he do?
He's a lawyer. I helped him to found his own law office to get out of that cutthroat job. Probably that's what he was after.
Let me guess. By help, you mean money, right?
Yeah, whatever. Let's please stop talking about my naive idiocy in terms of men.
A moment of silence.
Look, I know you are confused about me. Heck, I'm confused about all this myself.
Anna washes off tears from her cheeks.
Do you at least believe me now? I'm not a hallucination. I was shot and I was brought to a hospital. This must be some kind of a O-O-B-E?
Oh,
Anna eyes him with a mix of curiosity and skepticism.
O-O-B-E?
Out-of-body experience. I read about people with potentially deadly injuries reporting these kinds of things. I never thought it was real, though.
So you think you're separated from your body? Then why don't you just slip back into it? Isn't that how it works in the movies?
Andrew returns an ironic smile.
Well, yeah, this isn't the movies, though. The girl in the hospital said I need to find a way back. I had no idea how to do that. She said I need to stay close to my anchor. The pain is terrible if I'm too far away, and believe me.
Your anchor, what's that?
He goes beet red, shyly looks out the window.
You won't like this, but I kind of think you're my anchor.
Me? But how? I mean, I don't even know you.
I know. And I'm sorry about this. Look, I'm a loser. I've got no friends, let alone any girlfriend. All I care about is sci-fi shows, superheroes, the usual nerd stuff, you know? Not proud of it, but that's how it is.
Anna raises her brows.
You aren't trying to tell me you've got a crush on me, are you?
Andrew turns his head back to the window. Can't stand her piercing look anymore.
Oh, great. So I'm stuck with the ghost of a nerd, that's you.
Oh, great. So I'm stuck with the ghost of a nerd fan until he finds a way to return to his body. Sounds like my worst nightmares finally came true.
Exterior villa, minutes later. Anna stops her car in the driveway. Andrew eyes her questioningly.
So, what now?
Andrew shrugs.
Come on. You don't want to stay here at my place, do you?
I don't think I've got a choice.
Seriously?
Well, sorry.
She shakes her head. She can't believe it.
I'm flying back to LA in a few hours. I mean, what's in your head?
L.A.? But my body's in New York.
She counters his involuntary insolence with a disgusted grimace of disbelief.
Do you want me to fly to New York? Are you crazy or something? You know I've got a job, right?
Andrew issues a weary sigh.
You know I wouldn't ask you, but you're the only one who can help me. You're the only chance I've got to try and save my life.
She stares at him, lets his words and his sheer despair sink in. The anger in her face turns into compassion. Time cut. Exterior, rundown apartment block, morning. Samantha gets out of her car, nods a good morning to two police officers sitting in a cruiser in front of Leroy's apartment. She steps to the door, hits Leroy's doorbell, waits. She watches two guys in hoodie jackets on the other side of the street. They stop as they spot the police car. One of them points at it. They turn around and hurry away. Samantha frowns, hits the doorbell again. An old woman in an apron dress opens the door. She carries a plastic bag full of empty beer cans and stares at Samantha with big eyes. Samantha smiles at her, holds the door open. The woman looks after her as she enters the building. She's probably never seen a woman in a suit. Interior apartment block, moments later. Samantha knocks at Leroy's apartment door.
Mr. Mitchell, are you there?
No response. She turns the doorknob. It's not sealed. She frowns, pulls her weapon, and carefully enters the apartment. Leroy's apartment. The shutters are down. She searches for the light switch, finds it. Nobody in the living room.
Mr. Mitchell. Leroy?
She curls into the small kitchen, her gun pointed in front of her. There he is. Leroy's lifeless body lies on the ground. His eyes are twisted, his neck broken. Samantha drops her gun and turns away in disgust. Exterior family house, morning. William steps out through the front door, his briefcase in one, a key ring in his other hand. He pushes the door open. His car's turn signals flash up. Behind him, a woman about William's age appears in the doorframe. It's the woman from the picture in his office, just a bit older. It's his wife, Helen Curtis. Typical housewife. Wears a bathrobe, has curlers in her hair.
Hey, don't forget your breakfast.
She holds a paper bag out to him. William stops, takes the bag, and kisses her on the cheek.
What would I do without you?
She smiles.
You'd starve behind your desk.
He smiles back and continues his way to his car. He enters it. Interior, William's car, same. He starts the engine and waves goodbye to Helen as he drives off. He checks the contents of the paper bag and lays it down on the passenger seat. He's startled as a man sits up behind him in the back seat. He turns around and stares at him. Doesn't say a word.
Morning, sir.
William turns back to the front. He's angry and nervous, both at the same time.
Are you crazy? Why do you show up here? What if anybody sees us together?
Don't worry, Will. The boss sends me. Wants to know if our latest problem is solved.
William eyes the guy through the rear mirror. Just about to explode, but he tries to control himself.
So?
So? What? I've cleaned up the mess your people left, if that's what you mean. But that was the last time. Killing innocents was never part of the deal.
Really, Will? Are you getting sentimental in your old age?
William turns his head away. He's disgusted by himself, hunted by demons from the past.
Anyways, good job. It's good to know you haven't unlearned anything.
William slams on the brakes, turns to the back seat and collars the guy.
Get the hell out of here, or I swear you'll regret it.
Calm down, old friend. No need to get abusive.
The guy opens the door and leaves the car. William sinks back into his seat, breathing heavily. The man knocks at his window. William eyes him, still in a rage. He lowers the window.
We can still count on you, right? Can you imagine how sad it would be if Helen had an accident?
Stop it, Wolf. Don't even think about threatening me. I'll do what's necessary. You better mind your own business. My agents were able to find you just hours after the shootings. What kind of a fucked up camouflage is that?
They called me. Didn't say anything. It's harmless, really.
Harmless? You and your people act like amateurs and have got to take out your trash.
He shuts the window and drives off, washes sweat off his forehead and stares at JR's grinning face in the mirror. Interior, New York, JFK Airport Day. Anna wears dark sunglasses and covers her face under a hood. She stops in front of an electronic billboard while she speaks on the phone. Andrew stands next to her.
Yes, Harry, I know, but listen, I feel really bad at the moment. I don't care. Tell them I'm sick or whatever. I'm sure you can come up with something. I know we've got deadlines, but I got my text ready and can jump right in when I'm there. I just need a week off to get my life sorted, okay? I've split up with Ethan and it's all some big mess at the moment. Thank you, but I don't want to talk about it. I just want to take my mind off things. Thank you, Harry. You're a gem. Yes, I'll be there next Sunday, I promise. Take care. Bye.
The billboard now displays an ad of Anna's show. It reads, The Black Project, Season 5, under a cover image with Anna as FBI agent, pointing a gun at the camera.
Where do we start? I've got no idea which hospital I'm in.
First of all, we need to get out of here before anyone recognizes me.
She points her head at the ad, pulls her hood even lower. She picks up her suitcase, makes for the exit as the crow flies. Andrew marvels at the ad, but catches up her as he realizes she's already gone. Interior, taxi day. Anna's in the back seat, Andrew next to her. She tries hard to avoid the eyes of the taxi driver, about 60 years old, greasy man. He strains his arm to precisely adjust the mirror so he can get a better look.
You didn't book the room under your real name, right?
Of course I used a fake name. Can you imagine the trouble I'm in if the crew in LA finds out I'm here while I should be there to work?
Sorry, miss. What did you say?
Nothing. Was just thinking aloud.
Taxi driver turns around. His perverted grin allows a glimpse of his rotten teeth. Just how you would imagine a typical sex offender.
If there's anything I can do for you, miss, just let me know.
After a wink, he turns back to the front and focuses on the traffic again, at least with one eye.
Good old America.
Andrew can't avoid a smile. Exterior hotel, minutes later. The taxi pulls over and stops in front of a hotel. Anna hands some money to the driver.
Here, keep the rest.
Oh, thank you very much, young lady.
She gets out. The driver hurries to the trunk with unexpected agility and lifts her suitcase out. Interior hotel, minutes later. A young receptionist hands Anna a key.
Enjoy your stay, Miss Smith.
Thanks.
She looks out for Andrew, finds him in the lobby, staring at a television screen. She picks up her suitcase and walks by him, and suspiciously signals him to follow her. But he doesn't. He stands glued to the spot. She notices it, stops and follows his eyes to the telly. Insert, TV news show. A news anchor speaks to a correspondent.
So is there any proof incident is connected to the campus shooting 2 days ago? Any official statements yet?
Photos of Professor Marshall and Andrew are displayed on the screen while the correspondent replies.
Nothing official yet, but I was able to speak to one of the FBI agents here at the scene. From what she told me, the victim might have been a witness of the murder at the college, so it seemed very likely there's a connection.
The photos are replaced by a live coverage of the correspondent in front of Leroy's apartment block. Behind him, medics pull a gurney with a body bag into an ambulance.
Well, thank you for now, Garrett. We'll get back to you as soon as there's anything new.
Garrett is replaced by the New York Yankees logo.
Let's get to the other news of the day. Yankees optimistic for their clash with the Mets tomorrow.
Back to scene.
Leroy.
He turns his face to Anna, who eyes him questioningly.
They killed him. He must have seen the killers on the run.
Cut to black. End of Act 4. Act 5. Fade in. Interior hotel room day. Anna unlocks the door from outside. She drops her suitcase next to the bed and tears her hair while she drops her guys. She's visibly off the wall.
This isn't good. What the hell did you get me involved in there?
Andrew eyes her helplessly.
I mean, your friend, he saw the killers, and 24 hours later he's dead himself? This doesn't sound like some random robbery.
What are you getting at?
Someone's trying to cover his tracks here. There's gotta be more to this. Your professor, what did he do? Any interesting research?
As far as I know, the last thing he's been working on had something to do with the influence of high-frequency sound waves on the human brain.
Doesn't sound like something worth killing for.
Well, that depends. I read research studies about similar experiments before. The whole topic isn't half bad.
How?
Imagine you could influence the human brain to think what you want it to think. Sounds like more than just a useful weapon, doesn't it?
Dana thinks about it for a moment. She makes an annoyed gesture. Wants to get it over and done with.
Whatever. Let's just try to find your body as fast as possible, and then I'm out of here.
She lifts her suitcase on the bed, takes out a notebook, puts it on a table in the room and powers it up. She Googles New York City hospitals, clicks on a link. The page is headlined, Directory of Hospitals in New York.
Wow, even more than I thought.
She sighs.
Well, let's get started. I'll just have to call all of them and ask.
She picks up the earpiece off a phone on the table and dials the first number. Interior, Waypoint Millennium Core, lecture room day. A group of people sits at school desks. On each desk lies a questionnaire and a ball pen. The people are listening to a man in a white coat in front of them, Dr. David Mallory. He's quite young for his position, just about mid-30s, but his presence is formidable.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in our research study. I'd like you to fill out the questionnaires in front of you. You can do this while you wait. We'll call you in one after another for the test.
Test room, hours later, David sits face to face with his current subject, a young student who seems quite disinterested. The student wears headphones. They emit a soft humming tone. David holds up a card. The cover side towards the student. On the other side there's a yellow square.
No idea, something red?
David lays it down, holds up another card, a blue circle. The student shrugs.
Green triangle?
David drops the card and stands up.
Okay, that's all of them.
The student lays down the headphones and stands up as well.
Did I get my $50 now?
Sure, you'll be paid when you return your questionnaire to my assistant.
Alright.
David leads him out of the room, back to the lecture room, saying,
Next one, please.
An about 40-year-old woman, Angela Pike, gets up from her chair. She wears a leisure suit and worn sneakers. She's clearly here for the money. David leads her to the test room, saying,
Please, take a seat. Miss...
Pike, Mrs. Angela Pike.
All right, Mrs. Pike. You will have to wear these headphones while I show you different cards. They're all simple geometric shapes and different colors on them. I want you to guess the shape and the color of each card. Simple as that. You understand?
Angela nods and sets up the headphones. David pushes a button on the attached device. The humming sound returns.
Okay, first card.
It's a red circle this time. Angela's expression becomes quite intense. Her eyes begin to twitch a little.
Red. A square, I think.
David drops the card, raises another one, a green circle. Angela focuses. Her eye twitching intensifies.
A green circle.
David eyes her sharply, lays the card down and turns up the volume of the humming sound. Angela's eyes are almost shut now. Her eyeballs jump around like crazy under her lids. David raises the next card. Before we see the symbol on it,
Yellow triangle.
David checks the symbol. Bullseye. Angela's upper body begins to shake.
Red triangle, blue square, blue triangle, yellow circle.
As she continues, David uncovers the following cards. They all match her predictions. David's eyes widen. Interior, hotel room, day.
Thank you, anyway. Bye.
She drops the earpiece, face palms.
God, that wasn't even half of them yet. Give me a break.
Andrew kneels down next to her, tries to lay a hand on her shoulder, but it moves through her. Anna realizes it, pulls her head back in a reflex.
Please stop that. It makes me freak out every time.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Never mind. Let's carry on.
She dials the next number on the list. Interior, hospital, same. The phone rings in an admission office. A hospital worker picks up the call.
Truman Medical Center. My name is Dana Jaspers. How can I help you?
Hello, I'm Mary Smith. I'm looking for a friend. I heard he was shot and I'd like to visit him, but unfortunately I don't know which hospital he was brought to. Can you tell me if you've got a patient named Andrew Kinderman?
Dana frowns and seems nervous.
Please wait a moment. I'll check.
Thanks.
Dana drops the phone, takes a cell phone out of her jacket, searches for a calling card on her desk, gets up, steps away from her desk as she dials. Interior FBI office, same. Thomas sits at his desk. His phone rings. We intercut between Thomas and Dana as they speak.
Agent Yankovic.
Hello, my name is Dana Jaspers from the Truman Medical Center. You told me to call if there's anything new about Mr. Kinderman.
Oh yes, thank you for calling.
I've got a woman in the line. She wants to know if Mr. Kinderman is a patient here. Says she's a friend.
Friend. Did you tell her name?
Yes, Mary Smith.
Sounds strange. Listen, keep her on the phone as long as possible. Can you give me the number of the apparat her cell's on?
Yes, it's 212-509-6368. Should I tell her he's here?
No, just keep her waiting. Tell her you need to go and check on the station or something.
Okay, I'll try.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thomas hangs up and makes another call.
This is Agent Yankovic, FBI. My ID is 356-274. I need you to trace a call currently made to the following number.
Samantha's office, minutes later. Thomas opens the door and steps in.
Come on, I think we've got something.
What is it?
Someone's checking hospitals trying to find out where Andrew Kinderman is. I got her traced. She's in a hotel near the airport.
She jumps up and takes her jacket from a coat. Exterior, hotel, day. Thomas stops the car in front of the hotel. They both rush into the building. Interior, hotel lobby, same.
Welcome, you like to check in, sir?
Thomas and Samantha show their FBI badges.
I'm Agent Yankovic. This is my partner, Agent Boyd. We need the room number of Mary Smith.
She checks reservations at a computer.
I think there was a Mary Smith checking in today. There, got her. It's room 219, second floor.
They hurry upstairs with purpose. Anna's hotel room, moments later. Anna still waits for a reply on the phone. She rolls her eyes and hangs up.
Let's move on with the next one. I'll try this one again later.
Knocks at the door. Anna exchanges a sharp look with Andrew. She jumps up, puts her hoodie and sunglasses back on. Fully masked, she opens the door and looks straight at two FBI badges.
Mary Smith?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm Agent Yankovic. This is Agent Boyd, FBI. Please follow us. We've got to ask you a few questions about Andrew Kinderman.
Time cut. Interior, FBI building, interrogation room, day. Anna sits at a table, not sure what to expect. Andrew stands next to her.
How on earth did they find us?
I must have traced the call while I was waiting for that woman. I guess we found your hospital.
Andrew looks at a mirror wall behind them.
Don't talk. I guess they're watching you. I'll be right back.
Anna turns around, frowns as she watches Andrew walk through the mirror wall. Observation room, same. Andrew ends up in an observation room and hits William, Thomas, and Samantha in the middle of a discussion.
We need to find out what an Aussie TV star has to do with a New York neurobiology student.
Seems strange, but do you really think she's involved with this?
I'd say go and ask her.
Rather like to ask her out for a date.
Bet you do. It's probably the best if I go and talk to her.
She rolls her eyes and exits the room. Andrew frowns and walks back through the mirror. Interrogation room, same. The door opens and Samantha walks in. She sits down at the other side of the table and eyes Anna.
What? Did you come to finally tell me why I'm here in the first place?
Well, Miss Smith, I'm sorry, I mean Miss Chastings, my fault. I'm sure we both know why you're here.
Anna eyes her angrily, bends forward.
Fine. Now that you know who I am, I guess you can imagine the flood of lawyers which will make your life a hell if you leak any of this to the press.
Miss Chastings, I'll overlook that for now. I'm sure you didn't mean to threaten me, right?
Anna gives in, leans back, crosses her arms.
So why do you lock me up in here?
You tried to locate a person in witness protection and we'd like to know why.
I know nothing about witness protection. Andrew is a friend and I heard what happened, so I wanted to visit him and see how bad it is. Didn't know that was a crime.
A friend, huh?
Anna realizes she's on thin ice now.
Do I need to ask the FBI for permission before I make friends?
Certainly not, Miss Chastings, but you've got to admit it sounds a bit unrealistic. I mean, you're a famous actress, a megastar. How would you be friends with an unknown student who doesn't seem to have any other friends at all?
Andrew drops his head over the comment.
I met him online. He was doing a Skype interview with me for the fan club magazine he was committed to. We stayed in contact after that. He seemed to be a nice guy.
Samantha frowns and looks up at the mirror wall behind Anna.
That's not good. They can check that. I've never worked for any magazine.
Okay, let's say I buy that. When was the last time you talked to Andrew?
On the day it happened, he called me from a bar, asked if I was excited about the upcoming shooting of the new season. He said he had to hurry because he wanted to meet his friend Leroy at the uni.
Samantha makes a dismissive grimace.
You gave him your number?
As I said, Andrew's a friend. Don't you give your number to friends?
Samantha shakes her head in disbelief.
Okay, can I go now, or do you want to go on with your evaluation of my private life? Don't you think you can make better use of your time by chasing these 2 killers out there?
Samantha frowns.
How do you know it's 2 killers? We didn't leak that to the media.
Anna's confidence is gone. She just got caught lying.
Maybe I'm just good at guessing.
Observation room same. William stares at the interrogation room. He's terrified of what he just heard. What else does she know? He opens the door and wants to leave. Thomas realizes it.
Sir, you wanna leave now?
I've heard enough. Tell Agent Boyd to let her go. We don't have anything on her that would justify keeping her here.
But sir, she's obviously knows something.
I know, and I want you to keep an eye on her. I want to know about every step she makes. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Hallway same. William chases down the hallway and approaches his office. He checks to make sure there's nobody watching him before he enters the room. William's office same. He locks the door behind him and sits down at his desk. The computer screen comes to life as he moves the mouse and clicks on the icon on his desktop. A progress bar appears as well as the text under it. Encrypting connection. A window pops up which shows a connection being established through various proxy servers. It shows a world map. Lines are drawn from one proxy location to the next. The window is replaced by a chat window. A cursor is blinking. William types. We have a problem. There is a celebrity who seems to know what's going on. Please advise. William stares at the screen, waiting for a reply. Not sure he will like it. Problems are not acceptable. Eliminate all problems. As the words sink in, his expression turns to black despair. Cut to black. The end.